Hello there and welcome back to Planet Coaster. Yes, we're back on good old Planet Coaster, ready for another week of playing this game. I freaking love this game. This game is I'm a builder, man, and I love building stuff. And this game is one of the best, especially because I love theme parks too. But yeah, we're back on here, ready for another week. And before we do get started, too far into it, we're gonna go My Parks. I'm gonna hit resume. Um, but yeah, before we get too far into it, we are going to be thanking and welcoming the newest subscribers, the recent ones that have just joined over the last week and over the weekend. So, yep, thank you and welcome. We actually got a decent amount this week, so our channel is growing, which is awesome, and I'm loving it, man. I'm so happy about that. Um, all right, back in our custom scenario, our Whitestone National Park. I still don't like this. I don't know why it's so bright. It's so weird. It makes no sense. But anyway, it makes no sense to me anyway. But yes, this is what we got up to last time. If you weren't here, we had decorated around our roller coaster up here. Still got some more decoration to do. I never got around to it, man. It's just that stuff takes hours and hours and hours. But yeah, we had these. We had these two rides added last week as well. This new row. We're gonna be putting a food court right in here um, as well, and we got this entrance put in. This is a prefab entrance. I didn't make this. So if you're just like, hey, he's claiming to, no, not claiming nothing. I did not make this. This was made by the Planet Coaster team, I guess, possibly, or an intern, or who knows what, man. But yes, this was the last thing we had added last time, um, which was kind of the temporary entrance. This is temporary, by the way. I have my own entrance built, ready to go. The only problem is I didn't separate it out from the track rides because it has two track rides in it as part of the entrance. It's actually pretty cool, and you guys could probably guess what that is. But yeah, I added two track rides as part of it, and what ended up happening was and nobody wants to go on this. Nobody wants to go on this. What the heck? But I'm gonna lower the price even further. $4. Maybe somebody will want to go on it. There's like very few people on there. Yeah, we're like $4. Um, also need to take the number out of it. I don't know what's wrong with this ride. People just don't like it, I guess. Well, we do have an ad campaign running for families, and maybe most families don't want to do that. Um, one of our oldest rides. What was I talking about? I've already forgotten. Oh, my entrance. My entrance is still um, my entrance is there. It's just it's not available at the moment. We're also making tons of money. Never mind, we're losing tons of money. Um, somehow. Oh, you know what it is? It's that ad campaign we're running. Um, marketing. Yeah, it's this ad campaign. We're not. We're gonna let it run out because that's costing us a lot, and we need to keep gaining money so we can keep expanding. Yeah, we got 25 grand, but we need to be able to expand even further to build the actual park that we want to build. This is supposed to be temporary. Um, supposed to be. uh, but anyway, so what we said last time that we wanted to focus on, and I don't know if people want to watch this or not, but I'm going to do it anyway. Is we want to focus on getting a mountain in here. I want an actual mountain for our park, a big old mountain right here in the middle. It's going to be perfectly centered as best we can. Um, So yeah, I need to find the center point, which is pretty easy to do if you know how to do it. And what we can do is we can go a path. We can take a path here, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom all the way in, and we're going to. Yeah, I'll leave it on the ground for now. I'm just going to cover up the dots. Oh, balls. I forgot that it doesn't do what I thought it would do. I don't want it to flatten the terrain. Okay, we're just going to cover up the dots. Now we could do this way, I suppose. Let's do flattened terrain. Oop. Oh, or can we go uphill? Maybe. We need to make basically make an X. Okay, we'll go flattened terrain. Oh, apparently I can't flatten terrain. We go up. Tunneling? It's going to be deleted, but I was trying not to tear into our terrain too much. Just need to be straight. Okay, now we can turn this off. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to tear this out anyway. Basically what I need to do is I just need to keep going up, essentially. Just up and up and up and up. All the way up. Yeah, that's a little higher. Okay, we'll level out there. Alright, and then we're going to go boop, and then... Right, wrong one. Oh, we were on 8 meters. No wonder it's costing so much. I was curious about that, and I was just like, maybe I just forgot what the price was. Yeah, we're just going to go straight across the park, because it's a perfect square. Or it should be. What? Oh, that's not... Oh, balls. That's not doing what I wanted to do. Let's start on the other end. Yeah, I thought that was a little strange. I was like, man, we're really close to the to the entrance of the park. Like, what the heck's going on? What if we tell it to flatten terrain here? No, tunneling? Ah, balls. Why would it'll do it there, but it won't? Why is it what is it obstructed by? That's why I hate the paths in this game. Like, it makes no sense. What is it obstructed by? Like, I get that we have to flatten terrain, but it won't even do that. It'll only go left or right. It's the 45. The 45 is right here. But it refuses. And I don't know why. I could raise it up, yes, but then it wouldn't. You know, we'll start off with flattening the terrain. How about that? Okay. What is obstructed? I don't get it. I hate the path in this game. Makes no sense. We'll start on the other end. What? Oh, it's because I'm holding shift. Yeah. Yeah. In this game, you don't fly faster that way. I was just like, what the heck? Try on this end. This end is like really low. Yeah, I want to try and get it as straight as I can. Why does it do that? Yeah, the only problem with going up here is you can't line it up. You can't line it up with the grid because it doesn't go straight up and down, I don't think. Maybe it does. This didn't seem like it a minute ago, but maybe it does go straight up. No, it does. It doesn't because it's. Sit him in. Okay, we'll go just inside the dots then. Is that good enough for you, game? What the? Okay, this is a 45, right? I don't think so. I think the 45 is no, actually. Okay, it won't. So there's the 45. Oh, it moved over. Look at the look at the post. That's exactly what I was talking about. How annoying that is. See how it goes left and right even though I'm still holding shift? It's because if I move my mouse left and right, it moves it left and right, even while holding shift. So if I don't go perfectly straight upwards, all right, we'll call that good. Otherwise, we're going to be here all day. Oh, and now angle snap is turned off suddenly. What? Camera controls are not great. We're just going to keep going uphill. And then one more up. And we'll level out. Okay. This is all just to figure out where the center is. Okay, we know we've done it right if we hit the corner of the other corner. We hit the corner of the other corner. Yes, that's what I meant. Yep. Okay, we did do it right. People are gonna be like, "What the heck is this monstrosity?" Okay. What's in that little hole there? Is that me? Okay. Come on, camera. I don't understand what the camera was trying to do. That must have been an accident. Terrain. Sculpting. Let's go ahead and pull that. Fill it back up. Why is the camera just not working today? Alright. Sorry if I sound a little bit annoyed. It's Monday and I'm tired, and also this game's camera sometimes can just it could just throw me for a loop because it makes no sense how it operates sometimes. Like sometimes look, you zoom right on in. Then there'll be other times you'll be zooming in, and it just will not zoom in all the way. And then when you go to move your camera moves like at like a quarter of the speed. Oh my gosh, I thought that was like a wave. Okay. It's like I'm not gonna risk. Yeah, then anyway. Camera just does not work sometimes. Like you want it. And then you also got the paths that are just being an absolute pain. No. Straight ahead. Straight ahead. I'll try and maybe go down just a little bit further. It's like that. I mean, I was hoping to, connect them, but okay. And we'll just continue right along. See if we hit the other corner. But yeah, this is basically how you find the center of the map. It's you have a bunch of money, and then you just take to the paths. I think we hit it. Yeah, I'd say we hit it. Okay, perfect. Now, deleting this is going to be annoying. Multiple rides start to hate. That's fine. But yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to take our scenery. We're going to lag the game. We're going to go over to terrain. We're going to max this out. So we want this the biggest size it can be because... And we'll go for about you don't want too insane as far as intensity. The intensity can get it pretty well out of hand. Okay. So now we find our center, which is right about here. Raise the ground. Okay, now we know that's the exact center of our park. So that's where our mountain's going to be. Our peak of our mountain's going to be there. And then let's delete all this path. Alright, and as the sun rises, all of those paths to find the center of the map are now gone. So perfect. Okay, so now we just need to path it up. Now, I'm going to preface this with that I have not done this in a while. It has been a little while since I have actually done terraforming. If I forgot to mention too, but if at any point, if you want a map to start out with, it's starting. It's called Alpine. It's an Alpine starting terrain style. There is a link down in the description below if you want a map that I created. I actually did a full terraforming map that has trees on it. It has a lot of terraforming done to it. It has let's see, I'm trying to remember. It has one lake, I believe. It has one lake. It has a sinkhole as well as a few mountain ranges. It's got I think I made a few little tunnels too. It's got some rivers in it as well. It's got some rivers, and then it's got so this area where the stuff comes in, I think it's about this big. It's about a quarter of this size, maybe less than a quarter, where the flatland where you can start your park. But the rest of it's it's got mountain ranges, it's got rivers, it's got a big old lake. Actually, it's got one river as well. And the mountain is actually a geyser, is a water geyser. That I turned it into a water geyser at the very top of the mountain. So that's how the water gets into the park. it runs down the one side of the mountain into the big old lake, and then that lake has a river coming off of it that then snakes all the way around, and then the sinkhole where the aquifer used to be. Um, it's got a big old massive sinkhole in it too. It's actually a really cool park. It's got a lot of elevation to it, a lot of elevation changes, so you could do some really cool stuff. And if you're interested in it, like I said, there is a link in the description that has that map. It's but in order to use that link, you have to have it. You have to have this game on, or you have to have a Steam, so that you can download it via the workshop, the Steam workshop. It's been uploaded, so yeah, if you want to check it out. Okay, so we're gonna raise this mountain. Just a huge old mountain. Just a giant furnace into the sky. I might go a little bit. Let's go a little bit higher. Because like I said, this is going to go. I need to make sure we're staying straight here as well. That's how you kind of stay straight, is put the camera like in the center above it. Okay, so there's the top of the map. That's as high as you can go. That's pretty high. Pretty high. Okay. So we're going to push this back down just a little bit. Okay. Like I said, giant furnace. Ready? uh, of course, I'm a child. should that be the thumbnail? Absolutely. Jeez. Like, what are we doing? Nah, that won't be the thumbnail. Anyway, let's go ahead and flatten this back out. Actually, we'll work with it. Giant furnace. So basically, what I'm going to do, we're going to turn this on 100. Make this go a little faster. So what you want to do is you want to make a big old hill, a big old furnace, and then put a hill around it. Now this right here, this is the base of the mountain. So basically, you want this to be as big as you want it to be for your mountain. It really does not matter the size of the mountain. It's how you use it. It's how you terraform it. That's perfect. Yeah, we'll just pull this all the way up and around here, just like this. And you just, I don't know if you ever done it in art, but we made these clay snakes, right? There's this art, you make these clay kind of snakes. I forget what the art type's called, and then you build stuff out of those snakes. You build it up, and then you smooth the edges where the two would overlay on top of each other. You could do like spirals. Like I made like a tower um, that was hollow in the center, stuff like that. And it was actually really really cool. Um, but yeah, it's one of those types of things. So yeah, basically you just want to once you get up a decent height, go into the center and fill it in. And the reason you want to fill it in is so that you don't end up with tunnels, unless you have some tunnels. The best way I found to build tunnels, right, is when you have an area where you want a tunnel. What you can do if you're planning on having tunnels through this, which I don't exactly have a plan to. I will probably end up doing it, but I don't really have a plan where they're going to be. But if you want that, you could put a couple of small like 4 meter paths in here, and then what you can do is then terraform over them, because the terraforming tool will not it will not terraform through the path. It'll go around the path. Um, I can actually show you a little example here. And we won't do it over here. Let me grab a path. So basically, if you want to do a tunnel, let's take this down to 4 meters. And let's say we want a tunnel. We don't want it to flatten terrain either, because you don't. Tunnels aren't perfectly level on the bottom of them. So yeah, let's also lower this down to back to 1 where it was. But yeah, let's say we want. And like I said, I'm probably not going to do this, but we want like a tunnel for people to walk through. Oh, there we go. Or if you want a tunnel for like a river, this could also be. Yeah, let's perfect. I don't know. So I'm going to remove this, but now if we do this, see that? Look at that, and then we just cover it up, right? And then if you didn't intend to have this as a walking path tunnel, what you do is you go to the paths and you hit delete path. Like that, you got yourself a tunnel for whatever. It's got a nice little tunnel if you want like a cave system. And that one, and then what you could do is you have to work around it with the terrain tools in order to not accidentally fill it back in. Kind of have to work around the sides. But yeah, I'm not gonna have that, so I'll just Control Z all of that. Oh, can't Control Z those two paths. Oh well. There we go. Okay, but yeah, that's how you could do like tunnels and stuff, and it's actually a really cool idea. But like I said, I'm not going to do it because what I do is I actually tunnel my paths after the fact. Okay, we just want a big old mountain. Don't worry about what it looks like right now. It's going to look like a big old pile of poop usually. A big old pile of poo that's not really conformed. It's just a pile of like really nasty shit. Anyway, so yeah, we just take this all the way up. Yeah, it's starting to come back to me now. How I made how I do terraforming. This is gonna be, I guess this episode's gonna be a mountain tutorial. Yeah, you see how I'm filling it up, or I'm like I do usually about the outer edge, and you don't have to slope it necessarily right now. It can be a big old tall column that's like this, but this size. It really doesn't matter because we're going to shape it later. We basically just need the we need the terrain there first. So essentially, this method is very similar to this is no layer center, but that's okay. This method is very similar to sculpting out of something that's mundane, like a chunk of a rock or like a big old block of wood, and then you take a knife to it and carve out something out of that block of wood. This is the same principle here, but we need to make the block of wood first. we need to make the marble statue first, and then sculpt the actual details into it. Chisel away. This is a chisel tool. It makes sense, doesn't it? This is how you do that. And then once you get one mountain going, you could do an entire mountain range very quickly. It's like once you get down kind of the method, and then just realize that it's going to look like what's going to look like, and it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how perfect it looks, because like I said, if we look at these mountains over here, you see how these mountains aren't perfect. They're all kind of this is weird looking. You see how they're all kind of just lumps of rock, essentially, with trees on them, and then they've got these bits and pieces. That's the erosion portion of it. We'll get to that um, later on. But yeah, so just remember, nature's not perfect. Don't make a perfect mountain, because um, people aren't gonna. People are gonna look at that, and if there was any, if you're showing anybody or whatever, you know, people are gonna look at that and go, "That's not how mountains look like." Because mountains don't. They don't look. They're not perfect, you know. Just like I always say with nature, nature's not perfect. And if you want to mimic nature, you're gonna have to mimic it in perfection. And you know, like us OCD people, throw away that try your best to throw away trying to make something perfect and even all the way around. I'm gonna widen it out just a little bit more on the bottom here. I got bored of building it up there, so there we go. Yeah, just widen it out just a hair. And now that we're up here, there's not much filling in to do. We can just kind of pull it like this. And like I said, don't worry about what it looks like right now. It looks perfectly square in the center there. Very strange. I mean, you do want to kind of slope it up a little. Oh, we're out of money. Holy crap. What happened to all of our money? I mean, I know I'm terraforming, but holy crap, we just lost. Did something break down? No. What do we got here? This thing's making a ton of money. It's just making a killing, man. People are still saying it's cheap. Yeah, people are still saying it's cheap. Yeah, $20. Nice crisp $20 bill into my pocket. What's this doing? Yeah, this one, it's reviving though, uh, so people are going back to the queue. Yeah, why are we losing so much money? Queue is full, and they're waiting for ages. They don't want to queue that long. Yeah, this month we just died. Park management went up to 1,500. What? Why? Hey, mis fitas. Hold on, I gotta. Sorry, I'm like all over the place. Yeah, we lost. Oh, construction costs. So it was me. Okay, I'm willing to accept. Actually, this month. Look at this month. 4 grand. This month, 1 grand. We're not making all that much. Uh, balls. Didn't realize it was going to be this expensive just to make a mountain. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Look at the. Did you see the price there? Instant, like damn near $200 just for that little insufficient funds. Balls. I guess we'll just have to wait until we have money to finish that giant lump. But yeah, I've won a big old mountain in the middle of my park. Made 1,600 this month though. Very nice. I should have really been paying attention to money. I was too focused on building the actual mountain. I didn't realize. All right, we're gonna fast forward here and get ourselves a bit more money real quick. Alrighty, after letting the park run for just a few months, looks like we're Oh, sorry about that. That was actually me this time. We make about 2 grand a month, it looks like. That actually ain't bad. Never mind, we'll make 2,500 a month. We make a lot of money comparatively what we're doing. All right, back to this big old mound. Yeah, it is very, very expensive. I'm gonna look at our money just drop. It's pretty crazy. I might set the lighting as well on here. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna set the lighting so that since it's getting dark, we'll set it to about 10 a.m. That will allow us to see most things. So yeah, basically we just pull our mountain out. You want it to slope, but you want it to slope. You don't want it to slope nice and easy. You want it to slope hard, like because I left auto paint on. This tells me that the slope is really steep. That's basically what that's telling me because of the way it's painted. I'm gonna set it to noon actually. Whoops, wrong AM. There we go. 1 p.m. That works fine. The game gets confused between 1 a.m. and 1 p.m. Just let me set it to 24 hours, 24-hour clock, and we'll be good to go. Okay. So the reason I lowered this, I didn't want to leave it at the very top of the map, is because I actually want to put stuff up here. So that's that reason. So yeah, we're just gonna pull our mound into shape. Leave that the very peak, but I want the peak a little bit bigger. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of flatten it out here. There we go. Pull it up so it's not perfect. And then now that I know about how big I want my peak, because I'm gonna do another geyser. I think geysers are fun. Plus, it allows you to do like um, rivers and stuff. So yeah, or a mountain could be like a small volcano maybe. This looks like one of those science fair project science fair project mountains. Yeah, we're just gonna slope it down, make sure there's no straight edges. I would say for the most part. I mean, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfectly mimicking what I'm doing. You know, you don't want to make my ugly mountain. I'm gonna be making, but yeah, I'm just gonna kind of pull this out just a little bit. That way, I do have because you do want a little bit of a slope. You don't want to be perfectly straight up and down with an edge. You do want it to slope a little bit, but you want it to slope real steep. For right now, yeah, I'm just gonna pull it out till I'm happy. And don't worry about getting the slopes like perfectly sloped or anything. Because again, this is a mountain, so it's nature, so it's imperfect. Okay. This one needs to be pulled out just a little. I'm kind of wiggling the mouse back and forth, so it's even more random, essentially. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that mountain. We got ourselves a big old hill. Don't worry about your peak being center either. Doesn't matter. Just know where your peak is at all times. So you can get peak performance out of it. I'm bad. I'm sorry. Okay, so then the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do a flatten two foundation. We're gonna make this a little bit smaller. Probably 15. We'll probably do about half. Um, but yeah, we're gonna do a flatten two foundation. So basically, this is going to give your mountain um, kind of these weird kind of angles to it, so that it's not perfect um, as well. So basically, what we're going to be going for for this stage is we're going to be going for. I don't know if you guys ever been to like been to those red deserts. They've got like huge plateaus of flat rock, and then gigantic cliffs, and then more plateaus of flat rock. That's basically what we're going to go for currently. But don't worry, it's not going to look like that in the finished product unless you want it to stay that way. Do as you please. But yeah, we're going to go right up here, and you don't want too much distance between the slopes or between the flat spots. Yeah, just basically just kind of go around, just tap and drag. Okay, you don't want to go too crazy with this. I might even lower the intensity down to like 70 maybe. You still want it relatively high, but yeah. And if there's too much distance, then go higher up. It'll pull it out for you, as you can see here. Yeah, like that. And what this is going to do is it's going to give random, like I said, random slopes and things like that. So, but like I said, it's not going to stay this way unless you want it to stay that way. Because there are some people that do like this type of stuff where it's got these flat cliff sides and stuff like that. And if it's doing like this, like here, like it's digging in a lot, what you can do, just pull it right back out, and then just make sure you go all the way down with it. So you can see that edge was a little too steep. That's okay. But yeah, you don't want to hold this tool down, unless you want something like this already. Yeah, and see, there's too much here, so then I'll just pull that. Or there was too much flat surface in between there. Just like this. But yeah, and you just do this all the way around. Make sure that, again, unless you want it to be super steep there for some reason, do whatever. Like I said, you can do whatever you like. I'm just showing you the basic steps on how to get a mountain shape, because we want a mountain in here. So at least we're done with most of the terraforming. Don't have to worry about it. Yeah, right here was really steep. I'm gonna pull this out just a hair more. Like I said, pull it all the way down. Some of this might be too steep anyway. Let's go next size. Pull this back out. Pull it out just a little bit further. That's a little steeper than I intended. But that's okay. We can always fix it. We can always fix it. No big deal. And we just gotta do the biggest brush. Do this a little bit faster. Oop. Control Z that. Didn't want to do that. You normally see these type of mountains or cliffs and hillsides flat in like the big old like the deserts and stuff. The big old red rocky deserts. Not the deserts that have sand necessarily, but those deserts that have the flat red rock. A little too much slope in here. Like I said, do it however you like. It's actually doesn't matter. As long as we get these slopes in here. And you'll kind of see what happens later. It'll help us out. But this just makes this also helps with the sloping too. Just to kind of make sure everything continues to slope and it doesn't get too steep in certain areas. And basically, so if you're doing a mountain range, what you want to do is you want to have a bunch of these hills, for your mountain range, and then you want to do this step next after you have your entire mountain range, the way you want your mountain range to be set up. You can add a mountain range to a mountain, but it's a lot easier if the mountain range is already there while you're doing these steps. So you're doing these steps once, not 20 times, and then everything looks much more seamless, and you don't have to work as hard to blend it later. Like if I wanted to add a mountain range, which I probably will end up doing eventually, um, but I don't exactly have a plan. I'm just kind of doing this off of a whim, really. But yeah, if I want to do a mountain range now, I add my mountain range, and then I have to try to blend the mountain range and this mountain together, which will be a little bit difficult for me later on, but I've done it a bunch of times. So I think I had like on that map I had like three. There's like three different mountain ranges I had to build, um, and that one wasn't to plan either. I just know I wanted this, this, and this in my checkbox, but I had no idea uh, where I wanted that stuff. Okay, just about done with the sloping here. Uh-huh. Yep, that looks pretty good. All right. Do a little more here. Don't want too big of cliff sides, so let's pull this out just a hair. Oops. That's okay. Fix that. There we go. That's better. So now you got like this kind of sloped, or not really sloped, but kind of cliffside. This is actually really good if you want to build like a mountain that has like a tracked ride on it that goes around the outer edge. Kind of like certain mountains we have here in the U.S. There's actually a train that'll take you to the top of the mountain, and trains are the only way. Like the road will go so far, but it won't be able to go all the way up to the top of the mountain. So it's ends up being a train instead. And that's the only way up there. Um, it's the only thing that can make it. Okay, so now that we have this section, you're probably wondering, well, what's next? It's like, okay, next is the chisel tool. Uh, I like how we're making money as well. So the chisel tool, I'm actually going to give you a smaller mountain so that you can kind of get an idea what this looks like. So basically, if you're going to do this to your own mountain, and you have the mountain at this stage the way you want it to look, it's a, kind of, essentially kind of like this. Um, what you can do to practice is we can make another mountain. I'm going to make a small mountain right over here. Let's increase the intensity of that so it builds faster. And heck, I might leave this mountain here. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and build this mountain over here real quick, and then we'll practice the chisel tool over here. We'll practice it together. I haven't been on here in a while, so I need a little bit of practice myself. All right. Now that we have our mountain here, I actually chose a specific spot. You probably noticed that too. Is if you have any kind of terrain like this, and you were going to build like mountains and stuff along this, um, but you don't want to mess this up too much, you can actually work with it. Which all below here is all original. It might be pulled out just a little bit, but it's pretty much all original. So basically, I'm going to build this little mountain off of here. I might keep this too if I end up liking it. It's a weird thing. Okay, so now that you got your little mountain, your practice mountain, um, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the very top of your peak. We're going to lower this down. I don't remember the percentage, so do bear with me. Let me do it first, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And we'll do like a 20. I don't want too big of a brush. So this is what the chisel tool does. So we're going to pull this down, and this is what it's going to do. It's just going to create like this flat, kind of flattish edge. Like that. And what this chisel tool is doing, the way it's being used in this way, is basically we're creating what is called erosion to a mountain. This isn't exactly how I want it. Let's see if I can get that a little sharper. Let's raise the percentage up to 50. And don't worry about cutting into the ground. We can fix the ground later. So yeah, don't worry about that. And I'm actually going to leave this. Just like that. There we go. Should I leave it? Yeah, we'll leave it. We'll leave it like that. And like I said, just give me a moment here. We're just going to lop off, basically. We're just going to cut off sections of the mountain. And kind of turn it into almost like a pyramid style. Now you can pull this brush any way you like of it, but the best way is to pull it with the mountain downhill. But you don't have to pull it straight like I just did there. Yeah, we're going to create some weird erosion shapes here. Off like that, and let's create another shape like in there. And you don't have to start at the top each time. Just once you start, go all the way down to the bottom, or most of the way. Cut that like that. And you can cut it as many times as you like, however you like. And that's actually not looking too bad. What you can also do too is if you go onto the edge here, if we cut it to the side, we can kind of create almost like a ridge right there. Recut this. The cool thing is once the angle's at the top there, or near the top, wherever you're starting, you can just shave it down. Yeah, like I said, you don't want perfect perfect angles. You want to do it kind of relatively randomly. Cut that in. This edge still needs cut. I'll cut it this way randomly. There we go. And then I'm actually gonna cut this into the mountain there. Cut that down. Cut that down. Cut that down. There we go. Got a little bit of a mountain-ish. Yeah. Got a little bit of a mountain. So we got some slopes. It's still not looking the way I want it per se. There we go. So anyway, we got our mountain, right? We got our practice mountain. You can see we got some weird angles here. Some decent angles, not too bad. Some holes. And what you can also do too is even after you've done this, you go back in and create little, if you want like a little lip in certain areas, and then take your chisel tool again and cut the angle. Like that. And I went back just a little bit, and then that creates like a little, it can create like a little flat spot here. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect or nothing. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that. A little bit of some weird erosion we got going on here, but uh, not too bad. Actually, kind of like it. Okay. So once we got that, the next thing we're gonna do, um, if you're happy with it, we'll say, it doesn't have to look like I said, it doesn't have to look like this, but yeah. See where we're using the chisel tool to kind of pull in these edges here. But yeah, let's say you're happy with that, right? The next thing you can do, now you can stop here if you like. If you're happy with it, you can stop here, that's just fine. But I'm going to go a step further. I'm going to go size 5 maybe. And we'll leave it, size 5 might be too small. Size 10. Size 10. Give me a moment here, I might We'll try out a few different sizes. But you want to find some of these edges that we've got here. And what you want to do is you want to go up to the top and you want to kind of pull it and follow those edges. You need to make sure the intensity is pretty small because you don't want it to be too much. And what you're going to do is you're going to pull that all the way down. I guess what I can do as well is we can take our foundation here. So go to flatten foundation. Make it about there. And we're going to pull this right back up to our mountain now that we've got it cut, because you're going to cut into it anyway. Now that we got it cut, I want to kind of pull it back level with the ground-ish. Oops. Don't get too close with the bigger brushes, so you don't end up cutting like this here. I'm going to leave that there, though. It's not too bad. So then we take our smaller brush, go like 4 meters, kind of go in and go right up to it. Go just a little bit past the end of the slope. That way it kind of pulls it in like that. Okay. Pull that one there. Yeah, there you go. Very nice. So now it's pulled back up, essentially. Okay. Yeah, back to what we were doing. Yeah, we want to kind of pull. Now you can see this one kind of splits right here. So we're going to pull this way. And I might do kind of like that. Okay, so we've got a split edge here. And that can just fall off because it does kind of level out. Pull the edge this way. I might lower this down even further, maybe like a 40, 38, wherever it landed. And I actually want to kind of keep this flat edge here, so I'm going to pull it out just a little, and then pull it down. Now I want to pull this into the terrain that it's sitting on, the kind of the level-ish terrain. Don't worry, we'll smooth that out later. Oh, a little bit of saving there. Pull this out. Let that fall off into the flat side there. There's a little bit of an edge right there, and we'll kind of pull this out. You can also do this too if you went too far. You can also do this. I forgot about this. Just kind of pull it back. Get another little edge, kind of like right here. Let that kind of pull around there. That. But basically, just all the kind of edges that were left, we're kind of enhancing those a bunch, because you can see on these slopes. Look at some of these mountains. You see how this? I don't know if you can see my cursor right there, but you see how this kind of slopes, and it's like a really peaked right there, right between the two different slopes. You can see how that's peaked. That's basically what we're trying to mimic right here. And I'm actually going to pull down an extra edge. You can pull in edges if you like. If you're like, man, an edge would look really good there. It's just like, yep, just pull an edge in. And there we go. We can just pull an edge right into the mountain. And look at that. It looks like it was supposed to be there all along. Gonna pull that down. Pull that one down there. I'm actually gonna level this out here. Pull that back in to our mountain. And pull that back out. Kind of try and seamlessly blend it to this mountain here. I want this edge a little taller. I'll pull it in, again, pulling it into the terrain. Yeah. Got another slope here. There's a slope here too. Might pull that out like that. And then pull it this way. There's one right here as well. pull this one specifically. Pull that one. There's a little bit of an edge here. I'm going to act like this was a cliff at one time, like it was all here and then it broke away because it eroded underneath it, which can happen. That's where you get like mountains that have like these little edge pieces, and then all of a sudden it like breaks away and it kind of goes back into the mountain a little bit, and then it slopes down after that. That's where you get those, because there'd be like it kind of got pounded by the rain or by the weather or whatever up underneath the cliff that was there, and just kind of eroded it away to where enough eventually just part of it fell off. Or some idiot was up there jumping on it going, "Woo, look at me," and then they gone. We're never seen or heard from again. I know I'm laughing at that, but it's the stupidity of people sometimes can be hilarious. Like I know he's gone and everything, probably didn't live through that, but what was he thinking? Couldn't have been. I don't think he was. Okay, we'll slope this one out as well. I'm going to bring this in towards that. Again, going to just profound this slope here. And this one's going to carry, I'm going to have this one carry all the way down through here. There we go. And again, carry the slope. I'm trying to blend it. Like I said, I'm trying to blend it into the terrain. So that's why I'm going past the end of the mountain. Okay, and then it did kind of slope off this way. I'm actually going to fill this in. Right here. Might look a little better if it's filled in. That's right. There. Okay. I'll make this a little more profound. If you get too profound, don't worry about it. It's fine. It happens to the best of us. Okay. And sometimes you'll just want to go in and fill in some of those areas to kind of flatten them out a little. There we go. Okay. And we take our chisel tool and we can kind of cut that out there. There we go. Nice. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. Actually, somewhat looks like a mountain. See? Looks like the mountain's up there. Not really. I'm not that good, but yeah. Anyway, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my smooth tool. Make sure this is low. Your intensity is low. You still want some of the sharp angles. If you have this too high, it could just turn into a lump of terrain again. But I'm going to just go over this a little higher. 50%. I'm going to make my brush go 20 meters. So basically this is going to just kind of pull out some of them harder edges that are, and make it look, because it's been eroding for a while, right? It's not going to have super sharp edges for very long. Eventually the rain's going to get rid of that, so, and it's going to kind of smooth it out to what's solid and what's not. So yeah, I'm just going to go along here and we're going to smooth this out. I want to smooth this out as well. They needed to go over this with the smoothing tool. I know they kind of roughened it, but using the roughen tool, but I don't know. I think this looks better than this. Like, look at the difference, see, between this and this. As long as your smooth tool is not up too high as far as intensity, you can actually get some of this to look pretty good. Yeah. Looks like it's the distance model. That's what I think. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna leave this valley. And I'm not smoothing it out too much, so it's still rough. It's just not polygon looking rough, you know, or look like it's a distance model. But yeah, there you go. Got ourselves a little mountain. Actually, we're making quite a bit of money. Um, I'm guessing, yeah, just building the mountain is a lot more costly than taking chunks out of it. Okay, so now we're gonna do this one and see what kind of stuff we can get into here. This one needs to be. Since it's a bigger mountain, I'm going to go with a bigger brush. Like I said, yeah, just wherever you start is where you want to kind of cut into your mountain. And you want to try to leave certain ridges that might be more profound later that you can, amplify, basically. To like 70. There we go. It's going to lop off pieces. Sideways even. Random snake in there. Yep. And like I said, now that we've made our block of wood, now we're chiseling away at it. We're chiseling away, showing our details. Very nice. And this will take you a few tries too. It did as me as well when I was doing this kind of stuff, trying to figure out how I was going to do certain things. Because tutorials can only take you so far as well. So if you are watching this and kind of using it as a tutorial, just remember that it can only take you so far. You got to play with the tools and kind of teach, or I guess not really teach yourself, but you got to kind of play with the tools that you have at your disposal and kind of get it down. Yeah, we're just gonna keep lobbing off pieces and whatnot. That might be a pretty good angle. A little steeper than that. So I'm paying attention to the brush too, wherever it starts, because wherever you click and hold, that's the angle the brush is going to be at. So if you go really steep like this, so you get a lot steeper of a cliffside there. But if you go more gentle, which means it's more with the angle that the mountain was originally at when you started, it will be more steep, kind of. It kind of in a sense. Yeah, we're just going to keep lobbing off pieces. Let's see. There we go. They don't want much left at the top there. And obviously this is going to be a volcano, so we are going to have some left. Oop, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to keep with the slope there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go about halfway down like that, because this is advanced technique time now. So that way we kind of get some edges in there. I kind of like this slope right here, so I'm going to leave it. But I do want to pull this slope down like that. There we go. There we go. As you can see, peaks of mountains aren't always like super super peaked. Sometimes they've got some pretty steep slopes in them. I actually want to create a really steep slope, so we're going to do it like right here. Just to kind of pull that down like that. There we go. Yeah, so now we have a steep slope that we can follow. Kind of want to do this one once more. That was not too bad. Maybe do this one again. Oop. Didn't want to take down the mountain that much. And then yeah, I want to do some inner cuts as well because it's not going to be shaped like that. There we go. Okay. Might build this back up again. Just a hair. So I do want the top of the peak. The top of the peak has got to be a little bit more rounded anyway. So basically I'm just going to add, I'm going to try not to round it out too much. We'll probably lob off some more pieces maybe. I am going to pull this out just a little bit because we do need it kind of rounded. We're ruining it. No. Okay, we're going to flatten two terrain here. There we go. Like I said, since I'm doing a volcano, or not a volcano, but a kind of a geyser style. So what we're going to do is we're going to lob off pieces to try and match the mountain. But we only want to do like the edges. We want to be a little steeper. We kind of pull it in. There we go. Now we have a decent area up here. Just that off, just a hair again. There's some alarm going off over there. Okay. So not bad, not bad. It's it's not exactly the way I want it yet. Oh, that was a bit too much, yeah. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I'm gonna leave it because I'll be here all day if I keep going. If I keep going that way, we'll be here all day. I actually kind of want the mountain to be rotated. Unfortunately, that's not possible. All right. So then we're going to flatten to foundation once more. I'm going to take out most of the kind of valley that we've created around there. That's okay. We can fix that in a second. Kind of level-ish. We'll go pull, and we'll go back down to 10. Just kind of lower that down to like 40%. Kind of pull that out just a hair. Some of the edges. That way it doesn't look like basically that way it doesn't look like I used a brush to make this mountain. It was always here. You know, that kind of thing. Make it look like it's supposed to look like. Okay, that's not bad. There's a little bit of a valley right there. A little bit of one right there. Alright, so now that we got our mountain, I'm actually pretty happy with it. You know what? I'm happy with it. Raise this up to 51. Okay. So, again, we're going to kind of make our edges more profound. So we're just going to pull them down and get them edges pulled out. Kind of like, I don't know, kind of like mountainy veins. Now, obviously, with some of this as well, you can take this even further if you want to, this edge pulling. And you can make even more slopes if you want. You can make tiny little slopes. Like some of these mountains, you see how it's got these like ridges going up the main faces of the mountain itself. You can absolutely do that. I mean, I don't know if I'll put that much work into it. But yeah, we can try it here. Like this. Slope it together. Yeah, there you go. That actually kind of makes it look a little better. See, I didn't do that in my original map. I didn't put that much work into it. After I got to this stage, I just kind of was like, okay, now it's time to decorate the mountain and whatnot. Kind of want to pull this flat edge like this. There we go. Give it some like flat spots. I don't know, for fun. Okay, so yeah, you can absolutely pull down some ridges. Let's pull this ridge out. Pull this ridge out. We can do another one. Just make sure it's kind of uniformed a little bit, like it kind of like they do follow each other, because that's what would happen. Yeah, so put them together like that. Okay, this ridge needs a little bit more. And then next episode we'll worry about decorating the mountain. Decorating the mountain and putting like rocks and trees and stuff. We might even, I was thinking about doing like because this is the first thing you're gonna see is this side. We could put like a river down here. Maybe we'll put a big old lake that kind of does like this half side. Something like that. That might look pretty darn cool. So yeah, like I was saying earlier, if you are planning on having a mountain range, it's better to do the entire range all at once rather than trying to do each individual mountain and adding to and then trying to blend. You'll save yourself so much time. I know because I've done it. I've done it both ways, and the other way is much better. Is do the whole entire mountain range. Say like you're going to do this and you're going to do this all the way along here. Do this entire mountain range. Get all the hills in, all the peaks that you want, and then do your little flattened to foundation edging all the way around, just all the way along all the sides of the mountain range entirely, and then do your chiseling all on each mountain randomly, all the way on all the sides, and then pull out your edges for the last all at once. Because, like I said, if you try to do each peak individually inside your little mountain range, what you're going to end up with is you're going to end up with having to blend quite a lot of stuff together, and that can make it look worse. But if you want to go that route, I'm not going to stop you. I'm just giving you a warning here. There we go. Pull out this edge as well, just like that. I forgot to pull out my edge into the terrain here. Yeah. because it would have eroded all the way into the ground. Okay, then I'm gonna pull a little edge right there. We'll pull a little edge right there. Sometimes you can pull between edges or between your profound edges like this to make them look like they're kind of similar, like they were attached at one point. Yeah, kind of like that. Do stuff like that, little edging. Yeah. Yeah, then we're gonna pull these edges downwards like this. Slope them down. Okay, give them just a little bit of detail. It's kind of one of those things that the more detail you add, the better it looks. To a point, of course. It's always to a point. Because because we're doing mountains. And yeah, so most of the edges as well wouldn't just curve like this. They would continue downwards, kind of path of easiest resistance type of deal. That's how water usually runs and erodes. So if you're doing rivers like down a hill and stuff like that too, you can definitely do okay. The path the river would take would be easiest to go this way, so then you kind of follow that. It's really up to you though. Ooh, you know what? This is facing the entrance. I'm gonna leave this flat right here because I'm gonna put a big old sign right here that says Whitestone National Park, and then you'll be able to read it from clear down at the entrance. I think that is gonna be so cool. There we go. And then of course we're also going to do my we're gonna do my trademarked wolf made out of stone up here on the mountain, up on the mountain. Of course, I'm not going to show you how I do it because it takes literal hours just to do portions. It's just that insane. There we go. Now we'll pull down this edge down here, all the way down, following it. Go back up. There we go. Something like that. Let's create some erosion in here. Yeah, now that I started doing that, I'm actually liking that. I'd do that more often. Okay. More edges. Got another edge right here. So it kind of... Okay, so this edge is going to break off in a few different places. Follow it just once more. Kind of make it more profound again. So this would break off right here and go this way. Like that. Okay, so the first corner is right here. And that'll kind of tie into this one, and then it'll break off of this one. We got another edge right there. Kind of tie that in as well. And then the second break was like right about there. And then pull that over like that. There we go. Ain't too bad. Just kind of pull in a few more ridges. Kind of make it uneven. Okay, this one would probably go like this. Yeah, just like that. And then we'd probably have like some ridges in here. Some little flat spots we'll make. I'll tie that in. Yeah, just like that. Okay. This side I really like. It actually kind of looks good. I might pull another, let's pull another ridge in through there. Yeah, and kind of break it up just a little bit so it's not so flat. All right, now we got ourselves our mountain. That I'm pretty happy with. Pull this edge out just a little bit more. Need to pull it down to the terrain, of course. Same with this one. That one on through. Oh, we forgot an edge. This edge right here. Pull that, make it more profound. Okay, there we go. All right, so now that we're pretty happy with our mountain here, we're gonna go max, and then we're gonna go about 40% maybe. Like I said, you don't want to smooth too much because you'll smooth your edges that you want to keep. You'll smooth them right out of existence. So I'd probably, yeah, about 50% maybe. Intensity. Eh, it was like 60. It's not quite smoothing as much as I wanted. Maybe we just built smooth, who knows? And we're just pulling it right on out. So the other reason I do the bigger brush when smoothing is because it has less of a chance to actually pull my edges away from me. Yeah, those edges are my child. I don't want it pulled away. But yeah, I don't want them to be smoothed too much. We definitely want to smooth them a bit because it's been, it might be a little more. It's still not smoothing the way I want it to. Yeah, we're getting rid of all of the bits and bobs that we don't want by smoothing it. We might have too much detail on this mountain, actually. Okay. Maybe 80. Kind of smooth back out some of the edges anyway. Yeah, some of those are really weird. That's okay though. Because like I said, it's nature isn't perfect. So we don't want to be either. I'm actually going to do a flattened terrain right around it. It's a little, some of those came out, oops. Some of those came out a little too far. Actually, I might smooth that out. So I kind of want to pull it. Yeah, like I said, some of those where it went a little further than I intended. All right, then we'll go smooth tool. Smooth that right back out of there. Alrighty. Don't look too bad. It's a little weird in certain places. Like some of the ridges are a little more. Some of those ridges are a little more profound than I wanted. Take this down to like 20%. I'll pull some of them. Hopefully pull some of them back. Yeah. I'll be here all day if I keep going. I'll be here all day. All right. Anyway, so there's our two mountains, our test mountain, which I'm actually gonna leave that. That actually looks pretty good. And then we've got our big volcano, kinda. All right. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go push, and 20 meters sounds good. Push down in the center here. Core to the bottom of the earth. That looks pretty good. I'm gonna core to the bottom of the earth. So basically, because it's like a geyser, we're gonna add some water, and I'm gonna do rough water. Yeah, we're gonna do rough water because it is a geyser. So um, do like standing water, some dirty, nasty water, because it would be dirty, wouldn't it? You think? Nah, we'll do rough water. Rough water's nice. Actually, kind of like that. Okay. Now you probably should uh, roughen this up, but anyway, so this is the basic principle of it. This is a geyser, basically. We're going to have water shooting out of the top of this, and then we're going to have a big old sign, a big old actual metal sign that's going to stick out from the edge a little bit, and then we're going to have the waterfall come down this way, in behind the sign, and then it's going to go to basically our kidney bean lake, which is going to have a lot of our stuff. This was unintended, but I'm happy. I'm happy it's there. Yeah, that's pretty much our mountain. Don't worry, this ain't gonna be perfectly circular up here anymore. We'll show you at some point. We'll do like riverbanks and water and stuff like that. Do a little bit of a tutorial for that. I'm not good at tutorials, but this is my very first one, so and not yeah, this is technically my very first one, I guess. Like I said, I don't do a whole lot of them because I just don't feel comfortable enough trying to explain some stuff to people. I just don't think I'm good enough at it yet. But yeah, I don't really like the top of this, but we're gonna rock it up and kind of give it to be a little bit better. But I think that's going to be it for this episode of Planet Coaster. We wanted to build a giant mountain, and here we are, a giant mountain and a little mountain, a little test mountain. The test mountain honestly looks better than I don't know. Maybe I pulled these edges out a little too far. Oh, we'll see. But yeah, like I said, that is going to be it for this episode of Planet Coaster. So I do hope you enjoyed uh, us building a couple of mountains and stuff like that. And hopefully, if you were having trouble with landscaping, maybe this helps you out. I don't know. But yeah, that's basically that. So, like I said, that's going to be it. So I do hope you enjoyed. And until next time, I guess it's a goodbye.